Alright guys, I thought I'd show you this best I could. This is a Rickenbacker, a one-off Rickenbacker that is up for bid right now for $125,000. It's a 58 Rickenbacker Polynesian prototype Capri 325 combo 850, which they don't think is an 850 combo after all. And it's been hand carved by this guitarist, designer they hired back in the 50s. And the John Lennon connection is totally bogus, I've been told. I don't know why they threw that in there, but look at this guitar. I mean, this is a 50-year-old guitar, and the pictures are outstanding on this thing. Take a look at this. Of course, they want $125,000 for it, which, you know, shit. They should have some outstanding pictures. Here's a picture of the original guitar being played. All right. This Polynesian trio. Okay. And there's a little black and white coming up of it. Outstanding looking guitar. Now, zoom back a bit with my little hand camera. If I can find out where I am here on this thing. Some more detail on it. Look at this. Now, I understand it's full scale. It's not a 2 3/4 or a 3/4 scale guitar. And you look at it closely, I mean, everything on it is immaculate. I mean, there's hardly a scratch on this 50, 60-year-old guitar. Now, the one thing I do see is the compound on the bridge, shiny compound they put on there. It's been since long rubbed off and never replaced, it looks like, which is smart. You don't replace that. But if you look at the frets, they look like they're friggin' brand new. And look at these pups. These pup covers, they are shiny like the day they were made. As well as the rest of this hardware. And it's like, how is that possible? You know, it was said to have been stored for 20 years. The last 20 years, this was in storage at a collector's house, right? Or in a storage facility. So it sat there for 20 years in a case. Yeah, I'm sure once the collector got a hold of it, he took care of it and made sure it wasn't exposed. But the 35 years before that, this thing, if it's been played on gigs, this guy must have loved this guitar and slept with it, because what you're looking at are fingerprints on the chrome. That's not corrosion. That's fingerprints. So everything on this thing looks like it's goddamn brand new. Which they tell you, if it looks like it's too good to be true. You know, you'll see the guitar out of the case here in a minute. And I'm trying to get a picture of the top frets, which of course are the most used. And you can't tell by this film I'm making, but they look brand new. There's not a dent in one of them when I enlarge them. There's no sign of wear whatsoever on these frets. There's no sign of wear on the pups either. The housing for the pups. The metal looks all brand new. It's like, what the hell? How's that possible? The knobs too, except for that one that's got some weird scratches on it. The one in the middle there, knob on the right. But the other odd thing about it is there's no serial numbers on this guitar. And they can match up. There's just interior, on the interior pickups holes, there's some factory information. But it doesn't make any sense to anybody so far. Now, if you look at the tuners, look how worn they are. All the chrome, all the glitter's off of those. Those have gone to almost base metal. And they do look original. So how do you explain those pickup covers? I was like, how's that possible? Again, how do you explain the fact these frets look brand new? You know, this thing's all 100% as is, or as was. It must have never been used in 30 years. It must have just sat there in a case. Which, go figure that out. But the coloring and the missing compound on the fretboards, that does make sense. That looks exactly like it should look like on these antique Ricks. But that looks all wrong. These shiny pup covers, and it makes no mention that they've been replaced now. If it says they've been replaced or done whatever with or modified or cleaned up or whatever, it makes no mention of that. All those people out there are Rickenbacker fans. They'll have a good kick. They should get a good kick out of this one. This is unreal, one-off, one-of-a-kind Rickenbacker that you'll probably never see again once it gets sold. Now they want $125,000 for it, and I just recently sent them a letter saying, "How do you justify that price for this Rickenbacker? It's a one-off, so therefore." You can't complain. You can't compare it to other Rickenbacker sales. You know how odd that is. How close those are to the pup, and just tiny scratches. Only thing on these pickup covers and this arm. Then I can't figure. So I've written them a letter saying, "Hey, how do you justify that? Look at the carving on this hand carving. Suppose this is the first one they did this with from the German that came in to take over the design of Rickenbacker guitars." And there's his ramp, that famous ramp, on the bottom there, below the bridge. Famous Rickenbacker ramp. Right there it is again. You can see that. And on the vibrola, you see a patent number, but no serial number on the bottom of this whatsoever. So you think, what the hell? Where does this thing come from? Just magically appear? I don't get it. They want $125,000 for it, and it has no special star provenance like it was owned by one of the Beatles. They mentioned John Lennon, but sure as hell he didn't own it. So I guess they're trying to use that as some kind of come on. Maybe own one like it, but this sure wasn't his. Because those are all well documented where those are at the moment. All his guitars. Including his first junker ones that were destroyed. I didn't research those. Alright, let's see if I can skip past all these duplicate. Here we go, the back of this thing, which I find amazing. Is like, how the hell, after 35 years of playing, this thing has just little to no buckle rash on it. You see some staining, but that's it. And look at the wear on the neck. How even that is. It's like, what the hell? Some heavy use, top and bottom, but, not just a ton of it use, not any dirtiness to it. It's like it's just been cleaned and cleaned and cleaned. And any collector knows you don't do that to a guitar. Leave it the hell alone, just like you found it. Or if you have to, you get it in playing condition, but you make sure you note that. This is not noted that's been modified or brought to condition. This is as is, all original. There's a nice piece of instruction there. And here's some wear lines. Look at that. That's all the wear lines on this guitar, really. How's that possible? 35 years being played that had that little or no wear on it. And they do have the original bridge to it. They don't have the original jack plate. This jack plate they show usually has a serial number on it. It doesn't have any serial number on it anywhere. And it doesn't fit this guitar. So where that came from. And there's a tiny bit of wear right there. Buckle rash right there. Almost looks like it says Ray. And here you have a good look at the wear of these tuners, obviously. Why don't these tuners match the pup covers and the pups? Why don't they look worn? Because you're talking about salt air, guys. These things are in South Pacific, and shit, there should be some salt wear on this thing somewhere, corrosion somewhere on it, and that's all they're showing, that one little mark there on the edge of it. Some original case candy, supposedly. Here's your case that supposedly came with. There's the original bridge, but still no serial numbers to be located anywhere. Now I think it was sent back originally to have this third pickup added to the middle, but that was a factory install. And if you're thinking in South, Pacific, in the Hawaiian Islands, why the hell did they send it all the way back to the United States to have it modified? Must have been outrageously costly to do that to this guitar. Of course, these weren't cheap back then. The 50s were very expensive. Like $500 was like $3,000 or $4,000 back then for these guitars. And they were known to be very well made, which is pretty obvious now, as well as they held the test of time. But those frets are like brand new. So what the hell is going on with this guitar? I don't get it. Anyway, I sent my email saying, how can you justify these specific things on the guitar not looking worn, and how do you justify the price on this thing? I mean, just the last rare Rickenbacker come up was $125,000. So you thought, what the heck? This is one is worth it too. What I want to do, it's a little further down, is get down where they cut the back out of this thing. Now the back of this guitar is hollow. Not semi-hollow, it's hollow. And it shows where it's all been cut out. And it's got a thin piece of plywood that goes over the top of it. Let's see if I can get to it real quick. It's getting a little long video. But it shows the back of it. It's like, what the heck? And from what I could tell with my eyesight, there's the scribbling on it from the factory. Information on the pickups, I guess, and the here's the wiring setup on it. Looks pretty original. And if you look, here's that cutout. And it looks like it's been kind of hacked in spots. Back behind it. You know what I'm saying? So it's really odd, but that's the way it's been done. So everything from about the end of the neck down is all is all hollow, with a very thin piece of wood across the back. Anyway, that's about it. Dave in Texas. Bye.